Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on this incredible hidden force that basically runs our entire digital lives. I'm talking about the API. Seriously, have you ever stopped to think about this? You pull up a travel app, right? You punch in a destination and bam, seconds later, you've got hundreds of options from all these different airlines, hotels, you name it. It feels like magic, doesn't it? Well, it's not, but what's going on behind the scenes is honestly just as cool.
So yeah, that seamless connection you're seeing, it's not some wizardry. It is an absolutely brilliant piece of technology chugging away silently in the background, making all of this digital convenience even possible. And the solution to this whole mystery, it's the API. Now, to really get what an API is, we're going to use a super simple analogy. Just picture an API as a really good waiter in a restaurant. They're that perfect go-between that lets you get exactly what you want without you ever having to set foot in the kitchen.
Okay, so what does it actually stand for? Application Programming Interface. But don't let the name scare you. It's not really a strict, rigid protocol. Think of it more like a style guide for communication. It's a set of rules and constraints that helps different software programs talk to each other without getting confused. It's such an elegant solution, really. It lets all these different applications, apps that have no idea the other even exists, share information with each other seamlessly. They're kind of like the universal translators of the internet. So let's walk through this whole waiter thing. You're the customer sitting at the table using your favorite app. You figure out what you want to eat. That's your request. The API, our friendly waiter, takes your order and carries it to the kitchen. The kitchen, which is the other system or database, gets the request and prepares your food. And then our waiter, the API, brings that delicious response right back to you. See? Pretty simple when you think about it like that. Okay, but here's the thing. Just like in a real restaurant, you can't just yell random words at the waiter and expect to get a steak. And it's the same with APIs. Apps can't just send garbled messages. There's a proper language, a menu of available options, and a very clear set of rules for how you place your order.
So in the world of APIs, the thing you're asking for is called a resource. That's basically the item on the menu you want to order. A resource can be literally anything: a person's profile on Instagram, a pair of shoes on Amazon, or even the latest weather forecast for Chicago. And to actually interact with those resources, you use specific commands. We call them HTTP verbs. The most common one you'll hear about is GET. A GET request is super simple. It's you asking the waiter to just get you some information. You know, can I see the menu, or what's in the soup today? You're just reading data.
But what if you want to do more than just read? Well, that's where a POST request comes in. Think of POST as placing a new custom order. You're not just asking for info, you're creating something new. And there are others too. Put is like changing your mind completely. Scratch the burger, I want a salad instead. You're replacing the whole thing. Patch is a smaller update, like, hey, can you add extra cheese to that burger? And delete, well, that one's pretty self-explanatory. You're just telling the waiter to cancel the order. All right, so you've placed your order. The waiter eventually comes back from the kitchen with a response. Now, in the digital world, this response always includes a status code. It's like the waiter giving you a quick update. If you get a code in the 200s, that's the waiter saying, order up, everything went perfectly, here's your food. A 400 level error, that's the waiter coming back and politely saying, you tried to order something that's not on the menu. The mistake was on your end. But a 500 level error? Oh, that's bad. That's the waiter running out and saying, sorry, the kitchen is literally on fire. The problem is on their end, not yours. It's a super clear way for systems to communicate what's happening.
Okay, the waiter metaphor is great, right? But let's leave the restaurant for a bit and see how this plays out in the wild. Let's look at how APIs are the real engine behind the tech we rely on every single day.
Let's start with something huge right now, AI agents. An AI model by itself is like this super powerful brain just floating in a jar. It's smart, but it can't do anything. APIs are what give that brain hands and feet. They let the AI connect to other tools, search the internet for up-to-the-minute info, book a flight for you. APIs are what make AI actually useful in the real world. And then there's cloud computing. Honestly, the modern cloud would not exist without APIs. It's the absolute foundation. I mean, how do you think companies like Netflix manage thousands of servers all at once, automatically? They're not doing it by hand. They use APIs to start, stop, and manage all of their cloud infrastructure just by writing code. That kind of automation, driven by APIs, is the only reason services like that can operate at a global scale.
It's not just the cloud, it's the apps themselves. Most big modern apps aren't built like one giant clunky thing anymore.
Instead, developers build them as a bunch of smaller, independent parts called microservices. So you'll have one little service that just handles logins, another one that just handles payments. And what's the glue that holds all these different pieces together and lets them talk to each other? You already know the answer. It's APIs.
The crazy part is you are using APIs all day long and you probably don't even realize it. You check the weather on your phone? That's your app making an API call to a weather service. You log into a new website using your Google or Facebook account? That's an API doing the work. You pay for something online with PayPal? An API. That travel site that shows you flights from a dozen airlines? APIs, APIs, APIs. They are everywhere, working silently in the background.
So what's the big takeaway here? Why does any of this matter? It's simple, really. Without this one elegant concept, the interconnected digital world that we completely take for granted, it just wouldn't exist. They really are the invisible backbone. They are the essential connective tissue holding the whole modern internet together. It's because of APIs that we get all this amazing innovation, where developers can build on top of each other's work to create services that are so much more powerful than anything they could have built alone. And here's the real genius of it all, and it brings us right back to our restaurant. Because the API creates this stable, predictable way to communicate, the kitchen can completely change everything. They can get new ovens, hire new chefs, totally rewrite the menu. But as long as the waiter, the API, still takes orders the same way, you, the customer, never even notice. Your app doesn't break. And that right there is what allows technology to evolve and get better without the whole system falling apart. So I'm going to leave you with a final thought to chew on. Just try to imagine a world where every single app on your phone was a lonely island. A world where nothing could connect or share information with anything else. What would that even look like? That's a world without APIs. And thinking about that for just a second, it really makes you appreciate how they are the fundamental building blocks of, well, everything. Thanks for joining me.